Welcome to Start Before You're Ready, the podcast that proves that you don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin your journey towards better health and happiness. I'm your host, Kelly Young. Remember, the first step is often the hardest, but it's always worth taking. Hey guys, it's Kelly, and I am back with episode number 73 of Start Before You're Ready. And I am really excited to talk to you today about some exciting things that are going on and some things that I think might inspire you, some things that have been inspiring me lately and I think might inspire you. So I hope that this is a helpful episode for you. And in spirit of it being the 17th year of Kelly's Bootcamp, KBC, which is the original name that we had, I wanted to talk about 17 different things, which sounds like I'm going to be all over the place, and I'm not. I have a list. I'm going to stick to my list, and I'm going to get through all 17, and it's going to be, I think, a little bit of something for everybody, So I'm going to start with number one, and that is talking about 17 years of running a fitness program. I am so proud of the fact that we have so many members that have been doing this for some 17 years, some 15 years, some 10, some 5, some 2, some 7 days. That is, to me, really inspiring because make new friends, but keep I was a brownie. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold. They're all precious. And it is really important to me to continue to invite people into our community. That is probably what I care the most about right now, to not make it feel like it's some inclusive group that's already existed for so long. I want people to know that this program is for them. If they are looking to get better in their health and fitness, if they're looking to connect with other people, if they're looking for accountability, coaching, this is for them. This is for them. I want this to be something that's available to anybody that wants it. And even if you're not local, so most of our members are local, but we do have virtual programs. And I am committed to growing that. If there's more demand, or if our virtual participants are looking for stuff that we don't have, or looking for more accountability programs, we have the bandwidth to do that right now. So 17 years of serving our community with health and fitness. I believe getting better year after year. We're always adding, we're always enhancing, and we're always listening to our members. It's funny, I was listening to a podcast today that was saying, like, don't just put a class on the schedule because your members say they want it. I'm like, why not? Why not? If enough members say they want it and we have an instructor to teach it, why not? So I'm going to continue to go against the grain. That's why I'm KBC and not a franchise or not something that's everywhere, because I really love, what I love the most is the fact that we can listen to our members. So 17 years strong, and we just finished our 17th. They think it's our 17th. I don't know that it's our 17th winter challenge. And I know I've talked about the winter challenge on this podcast, and other people have talked about it as well. But here's why I think the winter challenge might be relevant just to the everyday listener, somebody that isn't going to necessarily do a winter challenge. Why I think the winter challenge is successful is because it's very intentional. People sign up for the winter challenge with the expectation that they're going to put more effort and energy into their health and fitness. It doesn't have to be this extreme challenge where you're giving up everything or you're doing all these really hard things every day. It's just doing a little bit more or less, depending on the habit of things that you were doing before. And I've probably said this before, but I'm really pleased with the way this winter challenge went. As I mentioned earlier, we like to change things up. I don't like to do things the same every year, because how do you learn? How do you grow? How do you know if it's going to be better if you keep it the same? So there's certain aspects of the winter challenge that have stayed the same, and then there's certain aspects that have changed and evolved. And one of the things that for the team, I'm going to talk about the team challenge. Number 2 is the team challenge. And that's one of the things about the team challenge is it became where people that had worked with each other in the past wanted to work together again because they had so much fun and they loved each other and that was their time to spend together. And that worked great because they invited new people in, even though there would be a group of people that already knew each other. They would still have some rookies on their team or people that hadn't been on their team before, and they were very inviting. I was never like, oh, it's cliquey. I never felt like it was cliquey. But I felt like it was limiting because people wanted to work together. So this year I said, we're going to do random teams. And I used ChatGPT. I put in my list of everybody that was going to be on a team. And the only thing that I did was I didn't even do that. But basically, I wanted to make sure that every team had at least somebody that had done the contest before. But it worked out that most of the people had done the contest multiple years. So we had 4 teams. The teams did such a great job of coming up with their names, creating culture, making it fun, connecting to each other. And I just wanted to read to you. So one of the things that I do in my community that's really helpful for me is I use the Google form a lot because a lot of the Facebook's great, groups are great, but there's just some people that they don't like to post on Facebook. They're fine sharing. They just don't like to post on Facebook. And I have to learn to respect that. So I have found that Google Forms, where they just get a link and they answer some questions, are really helpful to get people to share. And one person said, I love that the teams were random. It helped me talk with and get to know others in a different way, which is my favorite part of the challenge. I feel like everyone stepped up to keep everyone informed, and being on a good team is just a great experience. So that was one of the comments about what their favorite part of the challenge was. And then this is somebody actually that did the team as well, feeling more accountable and seeing some success, doing some of these extra workouts or classes that I wouldn't normally go to. That was fun. It's fun to take yourself outside of your comfort zone. And you don't have to be doing a challenge to do it, but I just think you need to set that intention and you need to be accountable. I had somebody that joined, actually, she rejoined. Not now, it's been like a year, but her goal was the first month was to try like 10 different classes, to try 10 different formats. And I just thought that was so great to rather than say like, here's what I like, here's what I do. She was just kind of in exploratory mode. And you can give yourself challenges like that. And if you want help, you want accountability, we can help with that. Focusing on me, resetting my health, eating clean, exercising, hydrating, limiting my alcohol, building and cherishing relationships, and lots of love and positivity. So those are just some of the comments from the team. And then the other question that I asked them was, what are you the most proud of? And what I really heard and there was a lot of specific data points like losing X amount of weight, gaining X amount of muscle, losing body fat. But what I really heard the most in this response was commitment, sticking with my goals, feeling successful because they finished, supporting teammates. It can feel just as good to supporting your teammates and having success as it can to have your own success. And I think we feed off of each other. So if somebody's helping somebody else, that's going to make them do better. I really, really believe that. And just the last comment I'll read is consistency in working out. If I didn't feel well for a class at the time, I did one of the on-demand classes. And I heard that a lot through these comments as well. It was like instead of not doing something, they found a way to persevere or get through it or do it, staying the course, working hard, doing the workouts, even when lots was going on. It seems like January and February, it's like all these crazy things happen that you're not expecting and you have to persevere. So that's what I heard a lot. And I want to talk about number 3. I want to talk about the individual challenge. So the individual challenge is something that we've tried to actually do other times beyond January, February, and we haven't had like the best results with it. But if you're listening to this and you're like, I'd love to do an individual challenge in April or whatever, let me know because we can set something up. I would love to see other people taking this on other times of the year as well. And it's the same thing as the team, guys. It's just the intention. It's just for the next 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I am going to focus on these things and somebody's going to hold me accountable. To me, that's what a challenge is. I'm going to focus on these things that are important to me, not random things. And somebody's going to hold me accountable. And I'm going to be asked in the end if I did these things, or asked every week. So in the case of the individual challenge, we did a weekly challenge. And what I said, and I learned a little bit from the individual challenge this year. We had a lot of people do it. We had over 40 people do it. And, people sign up for the individual challenge because they don't want all of the going back and forth and the tracking. They want to make the changes. They want to be focused on their health, but they don't necessarily want to spend a lot of time talking about it, which I respect. So this year for the individual challenge, we started off, we had some in-person events, and it was really nice to kind of make those in-person connections. I was hoping to have more of them, but the weather, just this winter, the weather really kind of threw us for a little bit of a loop. And we stayed engaged through the Facebook group, and there was 10 people that were on every challenge, oh my gosh, yes, they commented, they shared their MyFitnessPal. They were so into it, which kept it going. I was your fiber today, and now nobody responds. I'm going to be okay, well, they don't want individual challenges, but they did. So every week for the entire challenge, I did an individual challenge, and we focused on very specific things. We started off with water because I do believe that's probably one of the most important things. And it's not just I'm going to drink more water, because that's not a challenge. It's I'm going to track my water. Here's how I'm going to do it. Here's how many ounces I'm going to have. And every day they had to say, I had 100 ounces. I had 80 ounces. That worked beautifully for me. There was 2 weeks that were the most effective for me. And one of them was definitely the water week challenge. I definitely upped my game on the water, just tracking it made such a difference for me. And then the next week was fiber. We also did protein. We did sleep. We did MyFitnessPal, and that's the other week, or not necessarily MyFitnessPal, but tracking your food. I have never, and I'm just going to be honest, I've never tracked my food for a full week. I've never, ever finished the day 7 days straight. But I decided that if I was going to give them a challenge, then I was going to do it too, to the best of my ability. And I did every single challenge, and I really noticed a difference in the week that I tracked. And I actually learned that I'm behind on where I thought I was for my protein. I like to get, even though my lean body mass is 135, I like to get 150 grams of protein a day. And I wasn't. I was getting 135. It's actually showing up on my InBody now. I'm starting to see that I definitely need to up my protein a little bit. And that's what tracking does. That's what this data does. It's not random. I get really frustrated when I hear this random advice on the internet where people are social media or whatever, where people are so hell-bent on these facts that aren't facts. Unless they're relevant for you. Every body is different. You've got to learn your own body. You've got to do things that teach you about your body. There's so many devices now. I mean, we could get in the weeds with that, and I don't want to, because we've got 17 things to talk about. But knowing your own body and knowing what works and what doesn't work for you is really gold. And I do think that in our community, that is what we are best at. We don't say it should be this way. It should be oh, let's look at this. Oh, this happened when you ate this. Oh, okay, let's tweak that. It's just much more customized than random nutrition information. Everything we do, even though it's super affordable, it's very customized, and it's very proven that we see year after year what works, what doesn't work. We use the numbers, we use the data, we use the subjective feedback that our members give us, and we learn from it. And I feel so empowered by all that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. But next, I want to talk about the team, just the KBC team in general. We've really expanded. We needed to, and I feel really good about it. It is so fun to have new team members on our team. We have Ted, Lori, Dawn, Colleen, and it's just been really fun to have them learn. It makes me realize it's a lot to be a community member. It takes a while, but it's also a lot to be a team member. And they are just being so receptive, open, growth-minded, just wanting to serve. It's really so beautiful. And I'm so proud of them. And I'm proud that our other instructors have done such a beautiful job of including them and helping them. And it's just, the word team is one of my favorite words in the world. I love being on a team, and I consider myself a good team player, but I feel like in this situation, like there's other roles and I need the team to step up, and it's been incredible. So I just wanted to make sure to mention my team. So that's number 4, my team, the KBC team, and just how great they're doing. With that said, I just went through the reviews yesterday. So we have so much feedback from our members because our members are amazing and they take the time to give us feedback. And I always say, I'm never going to ask you to fill out a Google form that I'm not going to read every single word of multiple times. I'm never going to ask you to do reviews that I'm not going to read, share, learn from. And so in this year, we've gotten a few not so great reviews, like 5s and 6s. And you know what? Great. Our members love us so much that they're willing to tell us when we're not doing things that they want or they expect. They're willing to take the time to say, hey, this could be better. And honestly, like I couldn't be happier about it. We're going to learn from them. We're going to grow. We've had discussions about each one of them. I'm sharing on the team page just kind of what I learned from it. I'll tell you one thing that I think I learned from it that is pretty specific, and that's about our Saturday Strength program. So Saturday Strength is so popular. It's sold out every week. It's super, super popular. It's our 8:30 class. It's at the studio and at home. In addition to having the studio full, we have a lot of people at home. And we've gotten some feedback on that from some of our strength members because the class is called Strength, and the instructors all have their own way to do it, which I love. That's part of our programming. That's part of KBC. But at the same time, what I recognize, it's the only class on our schedule that has the same name at the same time that's always a different instructor. So we need to have a little bit more of a standard for that because that could confuse our members. So I'm learning, I'm growing, we're having conversations. That's what we need to do. We need to take this feedback and learn and grow. Wherever your feedback is coming from, you need to learn and grow from it. Sometimes it's really hard to take negative feedback. I am very sensitive. I can still tell you reviews that I've gotten. I can tell you exactly what was written on those reviews that wasn't positive because that stuck with me. Even though they could have said 1,000 good things, I always kind of go to the negative, but it really is how we learn and grow. So just wanted to make a mention of that, about my team. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the fitness conference that was local to our area this past weekend. It's called SCW. I actually had Sarah, the founder of, it was originally called Sarah City Workouts. Now it's called SCW Mania. And I can't say enough, whatever trade you're in, if you're a fitness professional, get yourself in the room with other people that are doing something similar to that you're doing or doing what you want to do. It is so inspiring to be around other people that are in my case, how I feel about this, these are a lot of people that are ahead of me, right? Like I've been in the industry for a long time. I feel like I'm doing a lot right. I've remained growth-minded. I've continue to educate myself in every way that I know is best for myself. But when I go to these conferences, I'm just impressed. I'm impressed with our industry. I'm impressed with the presenters. I'm impressed with the people that show up. They drive, they fly, they come from everywhere. It's expensive and it's a big investment to go to a fitness conference, not in addition to paying for the conference, but the hotel. You're leaving your family. Some of these people have to get childcare. But I'm telling you, it's so worth it. So if you have an opportunity like that to level up, whether it be a retreat or a conference, or maybe you can create something of your own. I've actually got, for my community, I've got something coming on this. This is a whole nother podcast. I'm not going to zip my mouth and not talk about it, but I do have something coming on this because this is something that I feel really passionate about. Like taking time away from your day-to-day to work on getting better, not just like a vacation. We all love our vacation, but something that levels you up. So just a shout out to SCW, all the work that goes into that. And a shout out to my team members that were there. There were 7 of us, which is pretty darn impressive. The way it works in fitness is you need to get continuing education credits, and every 2 years you need to get a certain amount. So not every instructor went. They might have already gotten theirs, or they might be getting them somewhere else. Or a lot of our instructors have young kids where they don't, their weekends aren't free for them to be there. But the ones that were there were so all in. It's a long day. It starts at 7 a.m. It goes till 6 o'clock at night. It's pretty nonstop. It's pretty overwhelming. And they were all in, notes and notebooks. And gosh, I was just like, I'm so proud of my team. I'm just so proud of the way that they're leveling up. And it was so great to have Amy and Meg there as like showing them the ropes. I remember showing Amy and Meg the ropes, and now they're showing new people the ropes. I just love that. And don't want to forget to say this, Amy Byer presented 2 amazing sessions. I was so proud of her. She did such a great job. It was fun to see other people outside of our community be like, oh, wow, this girl's awesome. Oh, wow. I'm like, yes, she is. Yes, she is. It was really, really great. And I also got a chance to present, and I learned about myself a lot. I had 2 sessions. One was, I kind of don't want to say this, but I'm going to mention the fact that they asked me to present, and I said, yes, I would love to do a workshop, a workout, because I've never done that before. I have never presented a workout at a conference, and I don't like presentations. They're not for me. I know this seems like I like presentations, but I don't. I don't like standing up in front of a room with a slideshow. It's just not for me. There's a lot of things I love, and that's just not one of them. So I said, I'd love to do a workout. And they said, yes, great, no problem. Yes. I sent them my idea and I named it and whatever. And then I actually sent them 3 different ideas for workouts. That's what I sent them. 3 different ideas for workouts because I didn't know what they were looking for. And I had 3 things in my head, like, hey, if I ever presented at a conference, these are the 3 things I would want to do. They gave me a workout and a lecture. And they were the same. They were kind of the same title. So I got over the fact that I was doing something that I said I didn't want to do. And I really liked the lecture that I put together. The topic was how to build community, which is something I do feel like I'm great at. And I used my examples of my community. I literally went through pictures, and it took me a full day. I am not kidding, a full day from morning to night to put the slideshow together. And it was fun to put together, and now I have it. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight the programs that we did and talk real talk, like this is what we do and here's how I think it could work for other people. I thought it was great. So all in all, that was a great experience. So I think number 5 is that presenting is going to lead me to the next thing I want to talk about, number 6, and that's about being organized. So I sent my email. I send a weekly email to my community. I used to send it on Sunday, and I found that I was always stressed on Sundays because I would try to do my WLAGs on Sunday, and I try to send my email, and I have boot camp, and it's also not supposed to be a day like where you're doing a lot. I'm also like prepping and family stuff. So I felt like it was just too much to do it on Sunday. So I moved it to Thursday because I felt like Thursday was my most free day. It's where I usually record podcasts. So in my message yesterday, which was Thursday, I'm recording this on Friday. It will come out on Monday. So in my message, I talked about that I'm committed. I'm not trying. I use the word try, and I don't like the word try, but what I said to my community was, listen, as many times as you might have tried to get into shape, or you might have tried to become consistent with your nutrition, or you might have tried to become consistent with your exercise, that's the number of times that I've tried to become organized and failed. Tried and failed. I do it for a little while, and then I don't. And then I'm right back to being the biggest mess in the world. So that's me. That's how I've made it through the first half of my life. And I want to change. I want to change. And I know that I can't change the way I am without changing something. Something has to be different. I can't keep doing what I've always done and expect a different result. So I kind of made a list of things that I was willing to do that I thought I could keep up with that would move me in the direction of becoming more organized. Right now, it has a lot to do with my scheduling, my email, my organization. That's kind of what I'm working on right now. and I'm holding myself accountable by saying it out loud, I'm saying it here on the podcast. I said it in my email. I talked about it in my class this morning. I'm asking for help because this is not my strength. And I know that I'm going to need somebody that's helping. And also the other thing that's really helping me that I just want to give a little shout out to is AI. There's really no excuse now to not be organized with AI. It can do so much for you. And I am trying very hard to utilize the things that can help me with my organization. One of the things that has been helping me in general is just like cleaning out my emails and sorting and just asking AI, like, how should I do this? Like, here's what I want to do. Here's what I've got. How should I do this? So getting a plan is really, really helpful. Having a plan. And please, if this is something that's like in your wheelhouse, if you're like, I'm the queen of organization, like the entire time I'm doing this, I'm like, I just want someone to do this for me. Like, that's what I'm saying to myself. Like you guys are probably saying about exercise, or like I've heard people say, I just want to cook. I just want someone to come in and cook my food. I just want someone to clean out my inbox and sort it and do all that. But I don't have that. So I got to do it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. If that resonates with you at all, let me know. And then on that same note, one of the things I'm going to talk about, number 7, is yesterday I met with Emily. And Emily is my co-author of the book the book's called Start Before You're Ready. It's how this podcast started. Emily and I I just think we work really well together. I find I can be like super annoying, but like, I don't know. She doesn't seem to get annoyed by my idiosyncrasies. She's just really thoughtful and she's a great listener. I was telling my class this is a little bit of a side note, but Emily is very sweet. And like, I don't like to curse and I try not to, period, but I definitely do. I'm not going to say I don't. I definitely do. But for some reason, when I talk to Emily, I know it's like kind of like talking to Barry. Like I notice it more if I do it or I do it more. But I think it's I do it not more, but like I definitely cursed on our call yesterday. But I also think I do it because she lets me talk, and then I just get like, oh, no, and then they come out. So it's not like words against anybody. It's just like me being like, oh. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. But so one of the things that I said, I was talking to Emily about, and like just structure and routine, and like having a more cadence. That I do have a cadence with a lot of things, but there are things that I need to be better at. I need to eat the frog. And one of the things I said is I just like to do things as they come. Like if I did a class and there was a great moment, I want to share it that day. I don't want to share it in a week. What is this? I don't even know what this is. If I make food, I want to share it that day. I like everything to be spontaneous and in the moment. And that makes it challenging to be like really structured. So that's something that I need to think about. And she really said something nice to me. She's like, Kelly, that's what makes you you. So don't let go of that. Just try to do the things that can let you still do that will also help you be organized. So I thought that was really good. I don't think I articulated that very well, but it was just a nice conversation. So shout out to Emily. She's kind of like my little lifeline. I feel like she knows me really well after we wrote this book together. And she's also like kind of in a stage where she's looking for her next thing. Shout out to her. P.S. If you need a writer, you guys, if you need somebody that can listen and write clearly. And you should see this email she sent back to me after our conversation. It was like, how do you even know we said all that? Like, I mean, and I don't think she uses AI. She literally just listens really well and formulates. She's exceptional, truly exceptional. So if that's something that you need, she's a freelancer. She's a freelance writer. If that's something you need, or you know somebody that needs, please let me know. She loves to write. She loves to communicate, but more like interview, thoughtful. She doesn't want to like share a newsletter. It's like a little bit deeper than that. So I hope I'm doing that justice. Okay. We're on number 8, and number 8 is a book that I read. This I just finished. I haven't even messaged him yet, and I'm embarrassed that I haven't. And I also wanted to comment. I listened to the podcast. So I met this guy, Dino, in Montana, and he wrote a book called The Global Nomad. And I had so many books that I was reading, and I was like, Dino, I want to read your book. I need to get through this. I need to get through this. And then finally I got through it and I read his book and I loved it. I'm telling you, this book is such a fun read. It is. He has literally traveled the world through the military and beyond that. Every chapter is a different address. And what I really appreciated about this book, and there's a lot of takeaways, it's something for everybody. I really think that. But what I really appreciated and what really stood out to me is his appreciation for everything. It didn't matter where he went, what he was doing. He was in apartments, driving, U-hauling, all things that people might be like, oh, this is terrible. He found the joy in every bit of it. And it really hit me. And it just reminded me how books can be so powerful and magical when you get to hear stories from other people and their perspective of things that you might be like, oh, this sucks. It's like, he had this line. It was so cute. He was like, the whole thing was like an exclamation point. It was like, wow, isn't this amazing that I get to do this? Like, that's just like his perspective. Like, wow, aren't I lucky? This is so amazing. I get to do this. Great read. Shout out to Dino and shout out to Kelly Watson, who had him on her podcast and did an incredible interview. She's such a brilliant interviewer, another person that I truly admire. And Dino did this is his first podcast. He did a brilliant job. I really think this book is special. I really think if it gets into the right hands, it will go places. I think it's going to speak to a lot of people. And I just wanted to give him a shout out. Number 9 is social media. So this is really interesting right now. Social media is having like a little bit of a moment. Like, I guess a lot of people are like, don't want to be on it anymore. They're just like, I just don't want to be on it. They don't want to be on it. And I'm like, I love social media. I'm going to continue to say I love social media. And I am going to continue to say that I'm going to do things my way in ways that I think is helping my audience. I'm not going to fall to trends. I am part of I do follow this guy, Brock Johnson from Insta Club Hub, who I really love. I think he's got great ideas and he's just super energetic and excited about the space. And I kind of need his energy sometimes. But I also, what he says the most is just be true to yourself. If you have something to say, get in your camera and say it. Don't try to all these quick cuts and all these things. And it's just, I guess that's what people want, but that's just not me. So all I want to say about social media is I'm going to continue to show up. Right now, I'm doing a 17-day challenge. Well, it's not 17 days in a row, but I'm trying to for the month of March, I'm trying to share 17 real food posts because one of the things that Brock suggested actually was to do like a series or a challenge. And because we were celebrating a 17-year anniversary, I asked my community, I'm like, I don't want to just do something to do something. Like, what would be helpful for you guys? What do you want? And they're like, food posts. We love your food posts. I'm like, okay. They do love the food posts. So I see them shared and saved, and that's super helpful. And it helps the Kelly's Bootcamp Instagram. So I will continue to do them. And honestly, I just do what I'm eating. I'm not putting a lot of effort into this. I literally, if I'm making something, usually I record it. And then if it's good, I post it. There's been a couple days this week when I've made something. I'm like, this is okay, but I don't want someone to follow this recipe because it's just okay. So I am trying to, I do try to keep that real. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I saw at the SCW conference that I've always been really passionate about, and it's number 10, and it's stretching. So you guys might have seen in your area, or I know in our area, there's a place called Stretch Zone. I know some of the massage places are offering stretch. Having someone stretch you is valuable, guys. It's really, really valuable. Stretching on your own is valuable. Deep tissue massage is valuable. All of these things are valuable, but being stretched, if that's something that you could ask for as a gift, like a gift certificate, or something that you can include in your routine, I highly recommend it. It is really great. And it's easy, meaning that like if you go to like the stretch zone, say you go fully clothed, you could go to the grocery store and then go to the stretch zone. You lie on the table, they stretch you for half an hour. It's boom, your appointment 10:30, you're out the door. So it's very efficient. Andrew and I actually went for a while together after boot camp. It was like a short season where we didn't have to be somewhere. It was like not a sports season. And I kind of made it a thing. I made us appointments and we went pretty regular, and he liked it. He really did like it. And then of course life got caught up. But if you have that in your schedule, like, I don't want to say it's the same price as a cup of coffee because it's not. But if there's somebody that you want to spend more time with, and I mean, you don't want to probably talk too much during your stretch. I mean, you're talking to your therapist because they're saying like, asking you to rate things, but you could definitely like talk in the car. And if there's a place that has 2 appointments at once, you could do that. So just throwing that out there. Meg is actually going through the training. She signed up for the training. I met a wonderful guy from Dover, Delaware, who offers stretch training, and he is doing a lot of trainings locally right now. So we're going to get that going. If you're interested, like if you're a physical therapist or a fitness instructor or a massage person or just a coach or someone that wants to be more into the recovery side of things, I would look into the stretch certification. I think it's anybody could do it. I don't think you learn a lot. It's a program, it's a course, but I do think that it's really valuable. I want to talk about helpers. So recently we had the contest party, the winter challenge party, and I was so in over my head. I mean, I do this, and I like, admittingly, I like the chase of the challenge of like, am I going to pull this off? Am I going to get this all done before? And it's really not healthy, but I know I'm not alone like this, but I just wanted to mention the day of the challenge. So I had wanted to give these awards and I wanted to make them special, and I had all this stuff, but I hadn't gotten it together yet. And I'm also doing all this food. So the day of the challenge, up in my room, I had Jen Pantello is a member who's also been helping me with organization, and I'm going to have her help me more because she's amazing. She's putting together the boxes, making them look perfect. Bernie, another one of my boot campers, is an artist. He's writing I'm telling him all the award names, and he's making them look fun and using designing. He's basically designing. And like, this is all happening like in my bedroom the day of the winter challenge party. They just came to drop stuff off. They didn't come to do all this. And I just love the helpers. I hope I can help more people, because people help me all the time. It makes me emotional because sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like I deserve people doing all the things that they do to help me. But I just want to give a shout out to all the helpers. I know you that are listening to this might be a helper in someone's lives. And I just grateful for all the helpers in this world. The next thing that I want to talk about is the DW program, because this is something that we do as a year-long accountability program. And I think that everybody should have a version of this with their health, where they're doing regular check-ins. It doesn't have to be their weight, their body fat, and their skeletal muscle mass. It could be something else. But what we've learned is after the winter challenge ends, or once this season ends for certain people, what did I have someone say to me today? Oh my gosh, it cracked me up. In Run Club, I love my people so much. She said she's on a bender. She goes, I've been on a bender ever since the winter challenge. She's not on a bender. She's probably like not drinking enough water. She's not on a bender. But in her mind, she's not doing what she was doing the winter challenge. So she's like off the rails. So the DW is something, and she does do the DW, by the way. And the DW is something that just keeps you on track. It doesn't mean that you're being perfect. It's just a monthly check-in where you go in and you get on the InBody. In this case, it's the InBody. Maybe you want to do something else. Maybe it's like an emotional checklist for you. But I really think if you're looking for consistency, if you're looking for not being extreme and what you can keep doing with something, you need something that's ongoing. It's not a 6-week challenge. It's something that now it's like going on 4 years. And I've learned from it. I've learned a ton. Right now, my numbers are off a little bit, up. I know that's a whole nother conversation for another day, but I thought I skirted through this whole menopause thing, and I think things are happening. So I think that might have something to do with my numbers being a little bit off. but I'm learning and I'm adjusting and I'm like, okay, like maybe I'm not eating as much protein as I thought. So it's really, really helpful. I just think that it having that check-in is really helpful. Another thing that I'm checking in with, and the same lines of that, is Function Health. So I've shared on this podcast before that I started doing Function Health, which I find incredibly valuable. It is basically you do blood work twice a year, and it's way more extensive than what you do at your doctor. If you can get your doctor to do this blood work, do it. Or even if you can if you want to go back and listen to the podcast with Daniela, she gives some great ChatGPT prompts to take your blood work and to have it looked at from a functional health lens. I do like having it done. I like having my blood work done more than once a year at this point, at this stage in my life. I think it's important. So I don't, I only go to the doctor for my well check right now. I don't have any ongoing visits. So this just gives me a little bit more data. And one of the things that I noticed, and ironically, last time I did my Function Health, my cholesterol was like 100. And it's never been that high. And I was like, oh boy, that's like borderline high. I better change something. So that didn't change that much. I was like, I think I'm eating a lot of shellfish. I should probably stop eating so much shellfish. And that's the only thing I changed. I didn't change anything else. And then this time it was up even higher. But I also started eating a lot more regular eggs. I was really just doing egg whites most of the time. And then I got on this having more regular eggs than I usually do. But I actually don't think it has anything to do with what I'm eating, to be totally honest. I think it's a little flux in my hormones. And I think that that's why my cholesterol was up a little bit. My HDL was down, which that was kind of weird too. But again, I'm going to make some changes. Now I'm going to be like, okay, what can I control? And the more data I have, the more information. It is helpful to kind of have a standardized eating routine, because then you can be like, oh yeah, I changed this and maybe that's why. So just wanted to give a little shout out to that. The other thing I wanted to shout out to, I should have said it when we were talking about the DW, but the InBody score. So this is something I'm learning about. If you're listening to this and you know a lot about it, give me some information. But all I know, this is what I want my community or anybody that uses the InBody to know. There's going to be people with really low scores because their muscle's really low. They're going to have scores like in the 40s and the 50s. I've got a lot of people that have scores that low. And who cares, right? Just try to improve it. But what I do notice is that it really kind of takes into play. So we look at skeletal muscle mass, we look at the body fat, and we look at the weight. It kind of uses those three things as a ratio, kind of like the CD, the body, the muscle to fat analysis. And that's where you're getting your scores from. So just like my big guys, some of them that are really overweight are showing up as Ds, they're getting high InBody scores. Okay. So it doesn't, that's basically, I just want you to know it's less about the number, but more about like a composite of your data that can help you try to increase your score. Like I just did a shout out to Grish, one of our members. He's increased, since he started with us, he's increased his InBody score by 10. That's incredible. Like don't expect that, but it's possible, right? So number 15 was presenting, and I already talked a little bit about that. And number 16 is the sweet spot. So this is just something that I wanted to make sure to say today. And that is work. So right now, I'm not in my wheelhouse. I am doing a lot of things that I should not be doing. I know there's lots of conversations about this. I'm trying really hard to I feel like if I catch up, I won't be doing so much of it. But my wheelhouse is coaching people. My wheelhouse is sitting down one-on-one with somebody or doing a voice text to somebody. I'm very good at it. I know how to coach in a way that's going to help people with whatever they're trying to do. When I think I was doing best was when I used this marketing company that was bringing me in all these new prospects, and they would come in and sit down one-on-one with me, and I'd get a chance to really listen to them and hear their pain points. It was a great reminder of what I love most. And that is really that. So I'm just putting that out to the universe. If you're someone that needs coaching, if you're somebody that knows somebody that needs coaching, I'm not going to do like a nutrition, I'm going to coach them into something. So I'm going to say, I think you should do nutrition coaching with Gretchen. I think you should do nutrition coaching with Amy. Or I don't think you should do nutrition coaching. Focus on this right now. Let's start with this. And so that's kind of where it is. It's more like an assessment of like where you are right now, what you're doing right, what I think you should do starting now. Not this program doesn't start in 6 weeks. It starts now to move the needle. Last thing I want to talk about, and I was actually just doing that right before I got on this podcast, and I was doing it via voice messaging, is the retro community is doing a challenge. So Meg's retro group, Meg and Colleen is now teaching the Friday. We now offer retro Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's our 55 plus small group training program. And they saw all the fun with the winter challenge. They're like, Meg, you look great. And they're like, we want to do a challenge, which, oh my gosh, yes, please. So they are starting their own little individual challenge. And I just love that. Like I'm pulling up the embodies. I'm going on to I now have a database that I use, and like the age is 80, 81, 84. They're trying to increase their muscle. They're trying to decrease their fat. Let's freaking go. Let's go. That's how I want to leave this podcast. It's never too late to get better, guys. Put yourself out there, figure out what you need to do, how you need to stay accountable, who can help you, and do it. Start before you're ready. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Start Before You're Ready. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend who might need a little motivation. Ready to start your own journey? Check out our workouts and nutrition coaching programs at kellysbootcamp.net. You can choose from in-person sessions or virtual programs. Set up a complimentary coaching session to get started. Follow along with me and the show on social media at Kellys_bootcamp. Until next time, this is Kelly Young reminding you that the best time to start is always now.